We are thrilled that Charlie is finally here. I've been asking since I joined the ministry when I was told about Charlie, and I said, who is Charlie? When is Charlie coming? And I've been nagging PS every day. When are we going to see Charlie? So today, children, we are going to see Charlie. And obviously the work that Charlie will doing will slowly be unveiled to you all. And like I said, we are thrilled Charlie is here, and there is so much work that has gone into bringing Charlie home safely. And today we have a reason to celebrate his arrival, because Charlie, as the name suggests, has a very important role to play in our pledge to protect our children from all forms of abuse and neglect. He comes in the form of a sea turtle. Sea turtles, you may ask why. Sea turtles are an endangered species in Fiji, and a protected and a confident turtle is usually seen with his head and neck out of its shell. Charlie, the turtle, thus represents a protected and confident child who can come out of his shell and speak about any issue that is affecting him or that he or she is being faced with. We hope that Charlie will offer encouragement to all our children by coming out of your shell and speaking up. We know a lot of issues face our children, and sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of the way we are brought up, we cannot speak about it. And internally we know that many children suffer. And it can have drastic consequences. It can help affect your confidence, your self-morale, and especially who you are. So we want all our children to be very confident, and we are here to help you deal with any issues that you may be going through. By the way of background, it has been more than 2 decades since Fiji ratified the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Child, declaring our obligation as a nation to promote and protect our children's rights. Since the ratification of UN CRC, my ministry, the Ministry of Women, has been assigned to lead the initiatives on child protection, and we are mandated by law to look after the well-being of all our children. I know there are gaps that still exist. Some children still miss out, and we are trying to address it. To strengthen our role and responsibilities, the Fijian government established the National Coordinating Committee on Children, a multi-sectorial committee where partners and stakeholders advise, implement, regulate, and monitor the protection and welfare of children under the Convention. Responding to children in need of protection is governed by different laws and procedures, and because of children's vulnerability and dependency, the government has added responsibilities to protect them and provide alternative care when needed. We have a social protection program within the ministry where we provide care and protection allowances to those children who are looked after by their grandparents. And it's becoming a common thing in Fiji for younger generations to get their parents to look after the children. So we are here to provide a monthly allowance. We'll not totally take responsibility because the parental responsibilities can never be compromised. So if grandparents are entrusted with the care and upbringing of children, we expect parents to do their share. Your responsibilities cannot never be compromised. Just because you have to travel overseas, just because you are working in a city or town, that doesn't mean that you, I'll say that, dump your children on your grandparents. It's becoming very common. We have close to about 9,000 plus care and protection allowance that we give on a monthly basis to grandparents to look after their grandchildren. In 2014, the Ministry of Women documented the need to give children an opportunity to reach out whenever they need. They need to reach out and report on what they experience or just to speak to somebody. And that gave rise to the National Child Helpline, a telephone service made accessible to children, free to children to report on experiences they encounter. Of course, many children use this to complain against their parents. We don't encourage false reporting. Of course, children need to be very responsible about what they report. The MSP, Medical Services Specific, was awarded the tender to administer the line in 2015 and has been our long-standing partner between the ministry and the other service provider. Also part of the contractual agreement are the 3 major telecommunication companies named Digicel, Vodafone and Telecom Fiji Limited are all part of the National Child Helpline. As of last month, that the helpline has been operating over 7 years. And over these years, the services provided by the helpline has been closely monitored. It's not that the children just call and we listen to them and forget about it. We monitor and we follow up. And we have observed, and this has become a source of hope for the children. Children from far in the outer maritime areas, they also reach out to us. And the counselors on the other end speak to these children. And in all the languages too. That's very important. So we feel that the Child Helpline is a hope for children who are subjected to abuse, neglect, discrimination, and they can call and seek professional help freely without being judged, where they come from, who they are. Okay? A major achievement for the establishment of the helpline in 2015 was this was the first functional line for the Pacific region, and we are very proud of that. In 2016, the helpline was upgraded to a 24-hour service, being operated for only 12 hours in the initial stage. So that's a progress. For the helpline. Since 2015, the Child Helpline has received 67,091 calls and responded to 10,698 genuine calls. So, like I said, sometimes children just play with the line. Okay, please don't play with that line. Somebody out there may really need help, and because you are keeping the line busy, you are sort of not allowing a genuine child to receive help. These genuine 10,698 calls were related to reports on child abuse and exploitation, school-related issues including bullying, child negligence, and children's behavior problems from school, at the home setting, and of course other locations as well. It's not only restricted to your home and school. You could be in a bus and you feel that you have been, something that's happened to you, harassed, bullied, you can call up. But so that doesn't mean that you carry your cell phone. Schools don't allow cell phones, I know. So you need to follow the rules as well. In 2020 and 2021, COVID-19 restrictions were in place to ensure public safety and protection. Despite the restrictions, 1,459 genuine calls were received, and only by children. Not only by children, but their parents as well. Welfare Act National Database, a total of 1,518 cases were reported in 2021, and with 49% of the cases reported via National Child Helpline. So you can see the importance of this, giving an avenue to our children. Of course, numbers fluctuate, but we've seen an increase over this period of time, simply because we've made the number of the Child Helpline aware on various avenues. So, as alluded to earlier, the Child Helpline was operational 24/7, and counselors continued to receive calls during this period. And now the Child Helpline is one of the most and the efficient ways of reporting on child cases. Very important. So the increase in calls over the years is an indication that children and members of the public are now more confident to speak and to report issues affecting their well-being and safety. Of course, all calls are treated in utter confidentiality. And I'm proud to say that Fiji has a well-structured child protection system, and we will continue to work on filling the gaps through laws, policies, and guidelines. Advocacy is very important. Community advocacy and awareness is also important, and we will continue to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, the success of the helpline is a result of the collaboration we have with our partners and stakeholders, and most of them present in this room, such as the members of the National Coordinating Committee, the private sector telecommunication companies, and medical services Pacifica, for operating the helpline. This morning, as we launched Charlie, the helpline mascot, we also launched the theme, Hope for Children for a Better Fiji. The theme represents the objective of the helpline being a source of hope for all our children who may find themselves in a difficult situation which threatens their well-being and welfare. The theme is also good that we as parents, guardians, and members of the public continue to work towards for our children a hope. I'm sure all children look up to adults as hope, right? But what happens when the same adult whom we look up for hope and protection violates their rights? And we intend to make Fiji and the children of Fiji free from abuse, neglect and discrimination. Of course, a very high vision. It's a very high vision because it deals with behavior. And it's very difficult to control adult behavior, and it's very difficult to control children's behavior as well. But we will continue with that to ensure we keep our children safe. Today, I'd like to encourage everyone to use all avenues that you have in various social media platforms, public engagements, and even in daily conversations to advocate on improving the lives of our children so that they are able to feel free, they're able to develop into the best version of themselves and lead our country tomorrow. Every child is special. Every child has potential. And we as adults and stakeholders need to nurture that. Maybe a difficult task, challenging task, but we never give up.